What's up, everybody? New year, same sponsors. We're talking about Elite Sports, the only apparel company that's got our merch squaring around. We're talking about ELETE sports.com. They got everything from squaring around. They also sponsor their own athletes. So if you're trying to get some custom merch for your family, you're looking for a good gift, shop EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE at checkout to get a nice discount. Tell them the Square Boy sent you. What's up, man? Should you stop our collection too if you're trying to get like a squaring around hoodie, jacket, sweater, hat. We got all that. EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE. One of the best things you can have is home field advantage. We have that same thing. Use code SQUARE at checkout, homefield.com. You can shop everywhere. Not really Texas State, but I guarantee you if you buy something and you bother them enough, like I've been doing in the off season, eventually, one day, like a phoenix, we shall rise. Homefield.com, use code SQUARE at checkout.
Tired of winning the tailgate, but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squarin' Around with Jacob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Squaring Around. I'm Jacob Rodriguez. That is the Texas State Sports Prez, Andrew Zimmel, and we are at the very tail end of softball season and the very, very last homestand for Texas State baseball is coming up pretty soon, too. You and I, Andrew, spent the weekend in San Marcos. Not really the weekend, but at least Sunday.
A day.
Got to drink some beer, got to drink some dogs. Heyo.
Yes, whatchamacallit, figured out everybody's life, essentially, like the group, everybody came to the table with an issue. We kind of resolved it all. It's almost like King Arthur in the round table. We were like, all right, Lancelot, what you got going on? Oh, your girlfriend hates you? Cool. All right, how do we fix that? Sir Henry, what do you got going on? ACL tickets, huh? Interesting. Yeah. So we had everything around the table. We were able to solve some problems.
Yeah. It was kind of like FEMA, you know? I don't know.
FEMA? FEMA? The Federal Emergency Management Association?
It was kind of like the United Nations in a way. There was a lot of races represented at that table.
It's the United Nations if we invited like Ireland with like El Salvador, Venezuela, New Mexico, Puerto Rico. There wasn't a lot of white people at that table.
Maybe there's you, Colton,
and Jason.
Yeah, my cousin pretends he's white. Does that count?
No, it was a good time. We had a good time. Baseball won, which was big. Pitching looked really good, but it's against ULM. So that's kind of the other part. That's not, you're beating up on the school of the blind and deaf at this point. Like,
yeah. No, that's fair. And we had Kelly come up right after the game, pretty much like right before the walk-off win. But he was like, baseball's dealt with a series of injuries. Blah, blah, blah. We always kind of hear this song and dance for some reason.
He was kind of giving us like a podcast. He was like, hey, by the way, folks, like, injuries have hit this team. I'm like, look, we're fifth right now in the standings. We could get as high as third probably, right?
Maybe. Yeah. So anyway, baseball is going to go to Statesboro, Georgia to play the Georgia Southern Eagles this weekend. And then they'll travel to UTRGV, Edinburgh, Texas, where I'll be actually. So I can see them over there. And then they'll play James Madison, who is the worst team in all of the Sun Belt right now. So likely they'll win this series at Georgia Southern. I don't know if it's going to be a sweep, but I think they'll win. Where does Georgia Southern even sit right now as we record?
That's the deal.
Wonderful. They are below us under ODU. So what does that make them?
All those teams are kind of grouped up together. It's like 3 through I think 10 are within a game of each other.
Yeah, they're all separated by like a game or two, which is why we jumped up from like 9 to 5 over the weekend.
And that's why I feel very confident that we're making the tournament this year. It would take an epic collapse, and I'm saying this like jinxing it, knock on wood, right? It would take an epic collapse for us to miss the tournament 2 years in a row. And if that does happen, oh man, that would be a very tough look for your boy Steve Trouty.
Dude, and I'm not gonna lie. I need the Bobcats to show up when we go to UTRGV because my cousin's playing on UTRGV's team. Shout out my cousin Evan. But if I go
Evan,
all the way to UTRGV's beautiful stadium and they lose, and I'm in a stupid Bobcat jersey, I might get beat up in the parking lot.
so what's UTRGV? If boots on the ground, what's the game plan there? Because also, by the way, McAllen to Edinburgh, how long of a drive is that? It's like 45 minutes an hour.
No, dude, like 15. It's like right there.
Really?
Yeah, it's
I
right.
didn't know that it was all that close. I didn't know it was that close. When I looked at
Actually,
the map, it looks a lot further apart.
well, the cities are like big, but the city lines are very close to each other.
Got you.
Um, when I was a kid, I was born in McAllen, but my parents bought a house in Edinburgh, but I went to school in Far. A little tri-city connection. Yeah.
There you go. That would be like, what would the equivalent San Mark? You live in San Antonio, live in New Braunfels, go to San Marcos, or
I think that's like being born in Alamo Heights, but living in Olmos Park, and then you go to school like on the west side by like UTSA.
like O'Connor.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That I mean, I
Fair
guess that
comp.
makes sense. That's a fair comp. All right, now I can understand it. You put in 210
Yeah.
vibes.
I mean,
I understand where you're coming from.
but the thing that bugs me though, back home, like it takes forever to drive anywhere. Like over here, like everything's like 15, 20 minutes away.
Really?
But like there's so many stoplights, not very big highway system,
Um,
like just stuck in
yeah.
traffic lights. It takes forever to get anywhere.
Yeah, I was looking up the GDP of the valley. I was looking up like the average gross income of individuals living in that area. It's not bad.
Dude,
McAllen.
you need to roll through. We had some big valley talk around the Knights of the Brown Table over at
There you
Grimm's.
go. There you
Oh,
go.
look, see, I was thinking about it the whole time. I go on a morning run and I'm all fired up, ready to go. I'm firing on all cylinders right now.
Synapses are firing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do have to get to the valley at some point.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
mean,
Not for
dude.
UTRGV though.
No. Let's talk about another team that is actually very good. We never have to babysit them ever. I'm talking, of course, about softball.
Yeah,
Bobcat
man.
softball is on a freaking tear. Some people were already excited that we were just going to get a share of the regular season title. The girls go out, punch it, boom, claim the
They were
title,
great.
hang the banner.
Yeah, no, we were joking. I joke about this with all of the sports at Texas State. The regular season doesn't matter. The tournament is what matters. That's what gets you your ticket punched to the bigger tournaments, the NCAA regionals and stuff. And everybody gives me grief now about, hey, we won the regular season. Doesn't count. Yes, it counts. I feel very charitable. Hang the banner. I'm happy for this team. This is a program in the softball team that you came into the season thinking, all right, maybe they'll be the 5 seed. Maybe they can come in as like a 4. They've got a good core, but they're a young core. And this season, between Ricky Woodard's coaching and coaching up and getting the absolute best out of their players, and then AC, we were talking before the pod, Jake. I did not expect her to have the season that she had, to win Newcomer of the Year and Player of the Year, and to break almost every conceivable home run and RBI record. I didn't see that happening. And I will say this. Every game I've seen of softball in person, she has not performed, mostly because she gets intentionally walked. She got intentionally walked 4 times in the game that I saw earlier this season. So for her to be able to hit the way that she's been hitting with the pitchers, knowing like the type of power she has at the plate, hats off. And truly an incredible season for this team.
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I really can't say like how, I guess like proud I am of the team, but like there's a lot of coaches that come onto our show and at the beginning of the season go, things are looking good, blah blah blah. Coach Woodard looked at us both and said, "We got a really good group. We could do whatever we want. The world is our oyster." Boom, delivers.
But even then, I remember her saying like, hey, it's a young team. This is an inexperienced team.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is, and you'll have him on the pod next week, Colton McWilliams, the Cowboy, was saying to us that he thinks this is the best coaching job she's ever had. Like, he thinks this is the best coaching Ricky Woodard has ever done to get this team to win the regular season. Because, again, no Jessica Mullins, and you think about the drop-off between Randy Rupp and Mullins. It took about 2 years to kind of figure out the pitching staff and Jessica turn into what she turned into. This year, it was like you picked up right where they left off, which is, again, a testament to, hey, it's not the players, it's the program for Texas State softball.
Truly. Yeah. No, you talk about culture, you talk about just like sticking to your guns on certain things, recruiting culture, recruiting players, recruiting families. Like this is what pays dividends when you first hire Coach Woodard, however many years ago, this is the end result that you get.
I know. It's crazy. Her and Moses got out of class together and they were like, come over here and coach softball at Texas State. No, it's like, it's huge. Obviously, it's huge for them to do what they're doing. You thought that, again, and I'll be the first to say, I thought this was going to be a team that maybe missed the tournament, maybe was a low seed, maybe was a first round out. The expectations for this team now, I think that they should win the Sun Belt tournament again. Jake, I don't know if that's a hard thing to say. Like, if you're the one seed, I feel pretty confident in saying, like, hey, it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the diamond. You should win the tournament. Is that fair?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's fair. I think like regular season title is great, wonderful, but as you said before, countless times. It doesn't matter and if somebody can beat you the next day and go, haha.
Yeah. No, and that's why you like the Sun Belt tournament because, everybody's 0-0 and you just need to win 4 games and you can win the tournament. You can go to but for Texas State softball, it is massively important to put on a show at the Sun Belt tournament that you continue this like reign of dominance, honestly. And you have, again, a young team that if they have that success in the tournament, okay, well, now year over year over year, it doesn't matter who's wearing the jerseys. And for the contingency of this podcast who listen only for Pac-12 news, I will add to it. Softball is an important sport when you talk about winning a conference cup. And that's what Texas State wants to continue to do. The Bubba's Cup, right? Is that the Bubas Cup?
Bubas Cup, yeah,
Which
for the
is
Sun Belt.
absolutely the dumbest pronunciation of any award, point blank.
I've actually told you that it was pronounced this way for 3 years and you didn't believe me.
It's so stupid. I
So if you
hate
don't
it.
know what the hell this is basically the Athletic Directors Award, and it's a cumulative point system. So however good football does, that's a certain amount of points. However good track and field does, that's a certain amount of points. And it goes throughout the entire year, all through pretty much the last athletic events that are being played
Yeah.
in the
It,
Sun Belt. So that's track and field, baseball, softball. So these are cumulative stats, basically, all saying how good the athletic department of each respective school has been. I think Don has won 2 in his time.
and for you bums who are very interested in this Pac-12, what you should do is you should go calculate the numbers for the projected Pac-12 teams and then what Texas State is and use that as a stat. Hashtag stat. Because I think Texas State would do pretty good in the fake Pac-12 athletic cup that you're creating here. I think that softball would do a big job in carrying them as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they do something else too. The Pac-12 does their own AD.
Yeah, it's
Cup
their
or
own
whatever.
commissioner's cup. Yeah.
I'm too lazy to even look that up. I'm sick of going on Twitter, honestly, and seeing Pac-12. Wait till next month. Wait till the end of this month. When will we ever know peace?
And damn this, buddy. We love you. Why are you doing taking a picture with a guy in a Pac-12 shirt? You knew what you were doing. It's the same thing with the soup tweet. Like, you're giving these guys, it's essentially feeding like conspiracy theories to the schizo wing of the mental health hospital. Like, what are you doing? You know what you're doing here. You
Yeah.
know you're getting these guys riled up. Like,
You're
these
whispering
guys
sweet nothings into the guys who's obsessed with Jello's ear.
yeah.
John's
You're
freaking
making-
out now in the hallway. Way to go.
You're making the Charlie Day meme of all of these individuals. Like they got the wires. They're like, well, he tweeted this about this. And that. It's like, just relax. It's all good. But I know what you're doing, KD. I know what you're doing. Stop messing with these folks.
Well, if you remember correctly, Andrew, Texas State has a revered sales program. That's what he's doing day to day. He's selling Texas State. I love it.
He's trying to get a bigger share from Keith Gill. He's like, hey, Keith, it's almost like your girlfriend who goes to the bar and brings home 4 numbers and leaves them out for you and be like, hey, went 2-stepping, got 4 numbers. You're like, I guess we do have to go get that nice dinner reservation. Got to remind them.
Let me let you know, if anybody's dealing with that problem, break up with that girl. Do not try to go wine and dine this chick. You lost her, brother. It's like seeing your significant other take a shot, from a guy with a random bottle of Ciroc in his backpack at Oyster Bay.
At a
Terrible
Sugar Ray
move.
concert.
Shut the door, baby, don't say a word.
At a Sugar Ray concert, nonetheless. Oh my God.
Obviously, the worst. That's got to be the seventh layer. Dante didn't even write about that one. That's a tough one.
Real quick, circling back to softball. Do you remember?
Yep.
Do you remember? I'm sure your father, actually, Alan Zimmo, loves to bring up the past around us. Will remember Coach Ricky Woodard's first season at Texas State. Do you remember what year that was?
1992.
2001.
Oh,
Yeah, that was her first year as head coach. Entering this season, just for number
towers are
80,
still up.
Yeah, 2025, she was 844 and 502 with 2 ties in 24 seasons. So this year, just add 40 wins to that basically total, and you'll get her overall. I'm sure at this point that makes her the winningest coach of all time at Texas State.
Ooh, no, Karen Chisholm.
Volleyball included?
I think the Chisholm has like 800 something wins, bro.
Karen Chisholm.
I think Chisholm still holds the record. What you gotta start doing now is looking at win percentage.
Oh yeah, she did 40 seasons here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, but check this out. If Coach Woodard just stays a few more seasons, because Karen Chisholm was only 895 and 550. What did I just say right now? Oh, shit. 844. What's softball right now as we speak?
Do you think she passed Karen?
She might have, just like this year, maybe.
Breaking news on the pod. She broke
Breaking
it
news.
like week 5. It's like, oh, wow. And we didn't even mention it. Didn't break.
6 weeks ago, yeah, nobody said anything, including the athletics department. That wouldn't.
The SID just was asleep at the wheel. Oh, shoot.
Hey, they're 34 and 18. So, yeah.
So yeah, to get 6 more wins to get 40 this year. I don't know. It's a lot.
892, I think, was Karen. 895 and 550. And 34, 38. So she's like, this is amazing podcasting.
This is what you come for. Is Jacob to do
This is
math.
what you come for, guys.
So anyway, I'm excited to go to the Czech Republic. This is going to be an exciting, a good time. It's a family trip that we planned for a couple of years. You know, mom, dad, 2 brothers.
Okay, so right now, she sits at 878 wins.
So what? Another season?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, now we're on Pack Watch.
She's only 17 games away, pretty much.
She's not going to do it this year, but next year we're there.
Well,
That's great.
Well, I guess they would need to win out, which is only like 3 games for them, and then you play.
No.
Okay,
You're not getting it. You're not getting it. You'd have to win. No. I don't even think that there's 17 wins left in the season.
No.
Yeah. No, I don't think.
Even if you went all the way.
You won the College World Series. I don't know.
Because you only play in the regionals, you would only play 4, the very most.
And then
you would have to lose 1 to get that 5th.
Yeah, that's not happening. Sorry, but next year we're there.
Run it back.
Yeah,
Coach Woodard.
Good podcasting.
For a year.
No, she'll come back for 1. Are you kidding me? I think she's got a bunch more years in her. I think things are really. And the funny thing, when we talked to Ricky Woodard, the head coach of Texas State softball before the season, we were saying like, "Hey, how's the transfer portal, NIL? What's like affected you?" And she's still going like, "Yeah, no, we're still recruiting high schoolers." So if she really hasn't like had to change the way that she's recruiting, which is the hardest thing to do in the sport, then you're fine. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. You're fine. You're okay.
Well, I mean, Ayanna Coleman was a transfer.
Yeah, but I think most of this team she recruited from high school, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are to say that there's no transfers on her team or that she's
I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to say. The core of it, though, is her essentially recruiting high schools.
Because Azua was a high school recruit. Kellner was a high school recruit.
If you go back and listen, she said that most of the transfers were high school recruits too, that they just didn't get the first time around. Like it's like, hey, we're not looking for like basketball. They're having to go to the transfer portal every day. Women's basketball, specifically, and
I'll
they're
tell you right
refreshing
now, men's basketball is in the portal.
Yeah, refreshing, seeing who pops up. But like maybe you didn't recruit this person originally, but now you're going to recruit them, 2 years later, 3 years later. For softball, I think they just have like their hot list of like, we like these players. And if they go somewhere else, fine. If they go in the transfer portal, we're going to call them again. Hey, what's going on? How you decide to go to, UNT, UTSA, Tulane, whatever. I don't care. And then, okay, now you come to Texas State.
Well, we've seen the same thing with GJ Kinney, right? Well, he tries to get somebody, they end up going somewhere else. Next summer, we see this guy for 6 months, then he's out the door. By the way, we did sign a Mexican kicker, everybody. Jacob Bonilla.
This is why we
Welcome to
transfer?
sunny San Marcos.
All right. So Jacob Rodriguez, famously, I don't care about kickers. It's just another white guy comes to the door. It doesn't matter. I think they did this purposely for you. They got a guy with your name, with your heritage, to give you grief and say you should care about kickers, A, and B, you should care about our program. He is a Bobcat, right? Is he a Bobcat? He hasn't played a game.
Well, no, he's not a Bobcat yet.
Okay. Okay.
What day is it? It's May 7th as we record this. We don't even know who the mayor is in San Antonio right now.
He's not a Bobcat until week 1. So I'm hearing?
Exactly. Yeah. When I'm not even going to go see that game because I'm going to go to UTRGV's first game.
All right, there you go. What do you think the capacity of that stadium's going to be? You think they're going to sell it out for week 1?
It's huge. Yeah. Everybody and their mom is going to be there, literally.
I hope that's the case because there's also a world where nobody goes to that game.
Check this out. This is going to be Vacker Stadium. If you don't know who that is in the Valley, they're like royalty. They own like the biggest car dealerships in the area.
They're the Red McCombs of the Valley.
Pretty much. It's nuts. I wrote a whole thing for Dave Campbell's all about this stuff, but they've got like billions of dollars going towards football right now because that's what it takes. Isn't that insane?
To start a program, for sure.
Yeah, start a program and then like maintain it.
Year 3, that's going to be a program that's like 25 million.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder what capacity is at Vacker Stadium.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you're selling it out because it's the old soccer stadium, right?
They have a capacity of 10,000, but with the recent upgrades that they did, they're gonna upgrade it to
they might
around 12.
They might sell it out then.
Mm-hmm. They're going to easily, dude. They have a student population that's bigger than Texas State.
What?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, because everybody in the Valley goes to school there, dude.
I don't know if is that true.
Yes, look it up. UTRGV student pop.
No, I'm not doing that. Largest student pop in.
Okay, did I say Texas. Largest student pop? No.
That's what you said, right?
No, I said they have a. I said that they have a bigger one, but I just googled it and found out I was wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like,
but they're only 9,000 away. It's 31,000 people go there.
I was gonna say because we're 38 and we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're 7th behind A&M, UT, UNT, Houston, UTA, and Tech. So I was like,
they got a lot of people that go to school there.
Yeah. Okay. But again, I was just confirming because I was like,
yeah, not bigger than Texas State. Okay, my bad.
We got moved down because when we went to school. By the way, shout out, get off my lawn. When we went to school in 2016, we were 4. We were behind A&M, Texas, and Tech, and then it was us, and then it was Houston was 5, and now we're 7. So thank God for our admissions department being like, whoa, everybody, pump the brakes. Too many people, not enough dorms. Lock it down. We're letting everybody in to everybody else in. It's like every other person can get in now. Not everybody.
Yeah, I do want to say, shout out the admissions department. It is still harder to get into Texas State than it is to get into UTSA, despite them now having medical school.
Good medical program. Yeah. What's up with that?
I mean, they're the UT system, so of course they're gonna have that.
Yeah, it's a
The
filter
Texas
school.
State system doesn't have anything like that. We're trying to get
Well,
R1 status as a research school right
well,
now.
I was saying it's because all of the rejection letters that UT gets, and then it's like you apply to UT, you get rejected, and then immediately in the mail you get UTEP, UTSA, UTA. They're just like, hey, come to our filter school.
Well, that's how the CAP program works. If you want to go to any of those other schools for a year or two, while you prove to the UT or the
Yeah.
A&M school system that you can
hmm
cut it as a student, come
So
on down.
what's the A&M one? Because I always thought it was Blindergarten. I always thought it was Blinn.
You can go to Prairie View A&M. You can go to Texas A&M University, San Antonio
That's a
International,
filter one,
Laredo.
huh?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
TMI, or TAMUI, Texas A&M University International. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Qatar got shut down.
Qatar did get shut down, actually.
Sadly.
That's how much
Yeah.
NIL money they got. They were like, we don't even
Yeah.
need this school over
We
here.
don't even need Qatar anymore. No.
But would
And
you
then we
jump
have
in the portal as a student? Like, that's so
I know, hold
stupid to
on.
me.
I know many people, like I'm talking
No,
like a
I know
handful
two people too, but it's dumb to me. It doesn't make
who went
sense.
to UTSA for 2 years and then went to UT. Why would you do that? That
And they're
seems like
the most annoying Longhorn fans in the world. The guys that only went there for 2 years.
can we rank them? That's
Number
the first
one, yeah, people who didn't go to school there. Then it's easily the guys that just walk around with a UT shirt but are like oblivious to the fact of anything. You're like, oh, hey, you just won a national
Transplants.
title, and they're just like,
Transplants.
yeah, they're just like, what are you talking about? Oh, this is just
Yeah.
a T-shirt to me, whatever. Then it's the guys that do this. Number three, I think.
I think that's and then Texas State fans who are UT fans.
Dude, don't even get me started on that.
That's four.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that would be my number four overall. I have and I know I get a lot of grief because I do the Longhorn stuff, you know, but like, we also, I think it pays out that we do this podcast too.
Hey,
Like
they butter your biscuits. You know what I'm saying?
this is my Narcan. You know what I mean? Like this is my,
I actually told somebody at work because I was getting mad at somebody because they ran a story that was supposed to run in my show, and I was like, "Oh wow, nobody gives a shit about me," And they were like, "Oh yeah, but you have the big show at night," and I was like, "Yeah, don't forget this show butters everybody's biscuits. All right, we're putting kids through college. We're paying off our cars. You're welcome because of my show."
There you go. But yeah, so I'm glad Texas State. I love that this podcast can start at baseball had a walk-off win, and we get to butter my biscuits.
Yeah, butter my biscuits, 101.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this podcast is really going to be kind of tight because you and I have different things going on this weekend. But also, there's really not a ton to talk about. When the football team won't talk to us, when
Can we get a shout out for
baseball is
women's
on the
basketball?
road. Yeah, shout out women's basketball. I know you posted
We got-
something about it.
Yeah. Our latest recruit had a TV interview, which I sent to Jacob because I was like, "Hey, TV guy, like, hey, we could use some of this." I thought it was cool. I thought, this is where it's a problem because, Tom comes and talks to me and then I get thrown off. You know what I mean? It's like
We need we need clips of all of these student athletes before they get to Texas State as they're interviewing with the media. And then they come on our show, blah, 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 they graduate. Then it's like, oh, you can see this person progress.
Kyra Anderson. She was on what is it called? KR or KTRE, which is in Tyler, I guess. I think that's the Tyler station. Anyway, she talked on Monday about coming to Texas State and talked about like the coaches and everything else like that. Why she decided to come and stuff, which I thought was cool. I like to hear why players want to come to Texas State. We're getting to the point now where I need to start hearing like, I want to win. I'm going to Texas State to win, which we haven't gotten a ton of. Hopefully soon, especially on the men's side of things, we get some recruits that are like, I'm coming there to win games.
Dude, I'm wearing a Takers shirt right now. A lot of us
I
have
hate
fond
those shirts.
memories of that 2018 team, 2019 group as well.
Super fond.
Um,
Super fond.
This group, whatever comes through basketball on the men's side, is going to be the defining legacy for Coach Johnson, at least in this contract period. Whether or not he gets another contract is kind of
you don't think
different
his legacy's already kind of set in stone?
I mean, he won Coach of the Year twice in the Sun Belt, and then he had 2 regular season titles.
Okay.
You're talking about a coach that was a coach for what? He signed a 5-year deal, I guess,
Yeah.
from 2022 to now or to next year. Not too bad.
All right. You're saying be easier on Coach Johnson.
I
Leave
think
Coach Johnson alone.
I think people forget, especially now in the transfer portal world and NIL and all this stuff, that it kind of just takes 1 year to get good, like, right now.
But
And
he's had 2 years where he could have gotten good and didn't.
yeah, I don't know. That last year's group I didn't like as much as this year's group. I thought this year's group had so much more potential, and everybody was like
Yeah, I didn't.
sort of
I don't know.
healthy.
When
Last year we
when
didn't even have
Benson
two of our starters. They were out the
when
entire year.
Benson was sold to me as like the best player on the team is when I was like, I'm out. Sharks, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
out.
that was tough. They did do an entire thing with Coach Collier, Coach Celeste Collier. Amazing.
Yeah.
And it's all centered around Colton Benson too. So they're asking Colton about stories because Coach Collier was his coach in high school and basically grew up or watched him grow up as a basketball player.
It was during spring break, and me and my wife we was spending the weekend in San Antonio, just a little weekend getaway, and I got a phone call from coach and said, "Hey, coach, my coach up here at Army has gotten fired, and I'm going to go into the transfer portal. And one of the schools I'm interested in is Texas State." And of course, I had to perk up a little bit at that time, and I go, "Wow, that's awesome! That's awesome!" And I said, "Well, let me see if those guys have some interest." And before I could hang up from Colton, I got a call from Coach Mathis and said, "Hey, Colton is in the portal." I go, I know, I'm excited about it." He said he's interested in Texas State. I said, I know. So I ended up hanging up from Coach Mathis and called Colton back, and I say, "Colton, you want to go there?" He said, "Well, I would love to play at Texas State." And I was overjoyed, and I didn't know how much they were interested in Colton, but evidently they were. Yeah. And the rest is history. He ended up coming here, and after coaching him in high school and getting an opportunity to see him play, where I played, where I coached, has been a pleasure. And so, I was really excited to see him get an opportunity to play here.
And it gets to this moment at Texas State. Guess who's in the freaking portal? Colton Benson. Breaks your
Yeah.
heart, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. But do you think? See, this is one of those true serum. Did he ask out, or did he say, "Hey, I'll help you pack"? Hey, let me help you pack your bags. I'll drive to the
I'll
airport.
let you on a secret. I asked for Colton Benson to come on the show the entire year. He just didn't come on the show.
Well, now he's in the portal. Could he come on?
I guess. We don't even do that though. Like, who cares? Like, if you're not a Bobcat, I don't want to talk to you, frankly.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, in the chat, in the comments, talk about which former Bobcat you want to have on the show, and we'll try to bring him on.
Who could we get? But TJ Finley, that would be amazing.
Finley would be
that would
amazing.
be a nuts episode. We've never had a quarterback on. Have you noticed that?
No,
trend?
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We had Jordan on, didn't we?
Mm-mm.
I swear we had a quarterback on at one point.
We didn't have TJ. We didn't have.
Oh, I'm thinking of Lindsey Scott.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Racist.
Yeah.
Andrew Zimmel's a racist.
Quarterback. He was a quarterback coach. So
And a black man.
That counts for something, right? No, we had the quarterback coach on.
In your defense, he was. What's the equivalent
of UIW, right?
What's the equivalent of the Heisman in the D2 level?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't done anything with his career, but he's at Tech now with Leftwich.
Yeah, he is. I actually was thinking about that interview today with Coach Leftwich.
Oh, I'll tell you, I thought this is funny. I was talking about Lindsey Scott this week because I watched Kellen Mond stink it up again as the Brahmas quarterback. I was like, where the hell is Lindsey Scott at? Make the call. Make the call.
Dude, why is that league around?
This is what I was
why
going to say.
Why is that league around?
Hold on. Breaking news. You know who I'm talking to tomorrow? So we're recording this on a Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, I am talking to Savion Patton from the Brahmas. He's going to come into studio and do an interview for OAI.
That's my dog.
Yeah, exactly. So we were talking to the media people, and they were like, "Who do you want to talk to?" And I picked the UTSA corner that's on the team. They were like, "Well, how about Savion?" I was like, "I know Savion. This will be great." So, squaring around reunion.
Dude, actually, when you see him, ask him to send me the picture that him and I took on the field this year. Um,
Okay,
I
I
didn't
will.
get it from him,
I will. I will remember to do that.
but I
Because
hashtag need that.
or or here's what I'll do. I'll
Yeah,
take a picture of he and I and send that one to you.
yeah, let me call into the show.
Let's just squaring around.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it's
fun. I need
funny.
to catch up with him. I know that
I think
his
he's supposed
season's
to.
right now, though.
Yeah, no, they just flew back in. They're 1-5. They lost last week, 26-3.
Got an interim coach, kind of a Spurs situation going on.
Worse. So kind of. Wade Phillips has like he's not retired, but he's like medically,
Stepped
he's around,
away.
but he's not. And Party is like a good guy, but he's like 28. He's like super young.
He's a year
So
older than me.
yeah, he's like really, really young. So he was not happy with the way they lost last week. If you're into football, you should be watching the Spring Football League. I'm legally obligated to say that. But Savion Patton, shout out. Hopefully, he's supposed to come in studio Friday. And if not, he'll just be on a phoner. And if he is on the phone, I'll be disappointed. But I'm excited to see him.
I'm stoked for you.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
But I
Anytime
was
I
thinking
see him.
about that. I knew I had something I wanted to bring up today.
What else do I got? I really don't have much, to be honest.
How
Like
about can we talk about marketing?
for Texas State.
A little bit. So, have you been keeping up with the Thunderbolts, the new Marvel movie?
Mm-mm.
All right. So there's a new Marvel movie out. It's called The Thunderbolts. It was really good. I liked it. But the name of the movie is Thunderbolts. They changed the name midway through to the New Avengers. But like midway through meaning it's only been out for like a week and they already are like rebranding it. And I wanted to ask about marketing, about rebranding, Jacob, because Texas State has done a really good job of branding themselves or like rebranding themselves from like the party school to like, hey, we're an actual institution to now being like more fun loving. And I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think the marketing for Texas State is right now? Like, if you had to, because your sister's coming at some point, right, to Texas State.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to talk to her graduating class and sell it on like, this is the brand of Texas State University, what would it be?
You know what's funny is actually my sister, my lovely sister, is gonna probably study marketing. If I had to pick something that she's interested in, it'd
She's also
probably
going
be
to
that.
intern for us, right?
Hey, squaring around nepotism intern
I'm here for it.
that Jacob can underpay to do very basic things for us that he doesn't
Go
want
to the press conference. That's all we're asking. Just go to the press conference, set up a camera.
Actually, that would be not too bad of a job for her, to be honest. We just tell her to ask her or tell her to ask questions for us.
Yeah, we get on it. Low key, dude. Let's think about this. She sets up a camera. It's a Zoom link. We do the show live.
Just have it with GJ?
Well, the press conference is going on. We react to the press conference live afterwards. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Hold on. Let's just get not too crazy. But we'll have somebody boots on the ground. Just don't have her schedule.
We could also just have an intern, like dead ass, like with the School of Journalism, probably.
You probably could ask for one. Hey, you want a job shadow? There you go. There's your job shadow. But then people want money. It's just a whole thing. But anyway, what is the marketing pitch for Texas State? That's where I want to go with
I've
this.
had a take for forever. I just think our social media handles suck. TX
Yep.
State football. First of all, that's not even our acronym or like our, abbreviation, TXST. But everything is TX State. I hate that. It's disgusting to me. TX State football. And then it's like TX State. Oh yeah, TX State Bobcats is like the
Athletics. Yeah.
athletics, the athletics department as a whole. TX State softball. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a very interesting tangent you're on to talk to high schoolers about like coming to Texas State, but all right, this is
Oh, you're talking about like marketing as a whole. I'm sorry. I was
Yeah.
talking about like very niche gripe I've
Yeah.
had with the university for a long time.
Let me talk to you about my beef kids. It's like,
Well, you
all
see
right,
the marketing for Texas State all the time. Like everybody talks about the river, obviously, which is what players at Texas State have told us maybe is sold too much on their recruiting visits, which I thought was super funny. Um, What else did they say? Like from an outsider's perspective, you're coming in. Do you remember your first time when you were on campus at Texas State, Zimmel?
I do, yes.
Because I remember when I got driven through town and I saw the square for the first time, and my eyes like lit up. Like I love that
That's
like
so
old
funny.
time like feeling and like how like vintage everything looked and like stuff like that. Then I got to see the university and like see the river. The river actually was maybe like one of the last things I saw.
Me too. Me too. So I got my first time I was there, I went to LBJ with like the student center, right? I was like, this is great. And butterflies, rainbows, it just rained the night before, so it was like really fresh.
And that was before LBJ got the big facelift.
Bikini Hill. That is what I remember vividly about the first time I went to Texas State. Driving by Strand and being like, wait, it's like noon and people are just half naked hanging out by the river. This is great. This is the best place I've ever been.
Little
Like,
little conservative boy from Bandera, Texas.
I was
Took
like,
off, you took off your cowboy hat and you were like, "Ma, I've never seen anything
I've
like
never
this."
seen I've never seen a creature so beautiful, ma'am. Like, this is incredible. This truly is heaven on earth.
My parents got one thing right on my official visit to Texas State. They took me to Grins.
Yep.
Same experience. Same thing.
No, nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
What'd you think
Except
about our server on Saturday or on Sunday?
she did not care for our jokes. The night she was not a fan of the Knights of the Brown Table.
No, I liked her a lot because she defended my honor, which is usually the reverse of what happens most of the time. I'm having to defend the waitresses from our group, but she was defending me. I was a big fan. She also was trying to make sure that we didn't drink and drive. And then she was like, you know what? I'm going to give you these beers after you eat. Like, I'm going to make sure that you feel this going home.
Also, shout out my brother because he paid for my meal. But he's owes me millions of dollars at this point, I think, as an older brother. So I'm just
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
hundreds of thousands of dollars easily.
I picked up the check one time with him. I was like, you know what? As Jacob's brother, I got you.
What a guy.
I know. I
Anyway,
know.
but it was a weird setup because when we walked in, the lady who ended up being our waitress like was the hostess, and then
Mhm.
she became our waitress. But usually, like you get sat and then you're in somebody's section, you know.
Yeah. Slow day.
It was yeah, I guess so.
The
But yeah,
tips
we
were
did we
bad
did get
too.
a bucket of beers, and there was six of us, but you don't drink.
No.
So there was only five beers that came in that bucket, and I was like,
Hmm.
"F is this?"
She was intentionally trying to make sure one of us did not drink. Now,
Intentionally
luckily,
underserved. Yeah, luckily all of
she
us drove. We took six
yeah
different cars to get there.
yeah. Shout out Al Gore. She knew though. She was like, one of you will be sober, and I was the person. I was locked in.
It was a good time. We had one beer there. I had one beer at the ballpark. Had a hot dog. Had some candy. Ooh man, I had a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. No Tiff Streets though.
No Tiff Streets.
Pretty much confirms that
No
we're not getting
T-shirt
Tiff
or
Streets.
Pizza Hut either.
Pretty much confirms that I'm not getting Tiff Treats this year.
I actually
Yeah,
I went as a fan. You didn't go as a fan, I guess.
but they didn't hand out Tiff Treats anyway.
But what if this was the time, you know?
Yeah, what if?
And you're the biggest journalist at Texas State, so they recognize you
By
immediately.
size, for sure.
Me, I have a disguise right now with my mustache.
I was looking at videos of Orson Welles because it was his birthday this week, and I was like, I see a lot of myself in this guy.
Orson Welles.
He was on
Both
Johnny
wrote
Carson.
books.
Huh? Yeah.
You both wrote books. You
Both
both wore
both
glasses.
both kind of funny guys. He was on Johnny Carson and he sat on the couch and the guy was like, dang, you take up enough room or something? And he goes, I am fat. I can diet. You are ugly. There's nothing you could do about it. I was like, Orson, my guy. What a
Sheesh.
take. Love this guy.
That's how like Sheldon, like young Sheldon fights in that show.
I haven't seen Young Sheldon. I'm glad you're the one person watching that show. Good for you.
Bro,
I've
what
been
do you
watching
mean? It's like
House.
the biggest TV show on CBS.
I've been watching a lot of House. 8 seasons. They go fast. I'm enjoying it.
Here's the thing. If young Sheldon's not so big, how come George and Mandy's first marriage got a spin-off?
Dude, I'm not kidding. Like that's I don't know who's watching these shows.
What do you
Like,
mean, bro? This is what like housewives and like things watch. Like
I guess. Lastly, shout out to Carter Jates. Incredible story this week in Dave Campbell's about the young man who almost died catching a football. It's one of
that's
those
crazy.
stories. It's one of those stories that I read and I go, "Well, my kids aren't playing football, I guess." I was like, normal 2-hand touch practice, and somehow he almost died. So that's kind of confirms it for me that I'm not letting my kids play.
Dude, it's just a reminder that life is extremely fragile, honestly. Like,
Yeah, no kidding.
the
Read the story. Yates did an incredible job.
yeah. Shout out Carter Jates. All right. You got anything else? Got any funny haha stories?
Trying to think.
I don't really have any funny haha stories, to be honest. This has been all business Jacob this week.
Last week we shouted out Anwar. His girlfriend did say yes to him, so that's big.
Yeah, shout out Mrs. Duran, I guess, now for that proposal that was.
Yeah.
My
he was trying
girlfriend.
to talk down. And, you know, in the moment, he was like, oh, it's just a shadow box. And I was like, I guess it is just a shadow box. And I went home and I was like, a shadow box?
Dude, the lights
box?
were dim. There was candles and like rose petals all around. Then he had this like thing that was like, will you be my girlfriend? I'm not shitting on the man, all right? I think it's a sweet gesture. I'm just saying, you guys have been dating for 4 months anyway. Like, what are we talking about here?
I just am like...
And the whole reason they weren't together was, for context for everybody listening at home that cares about my friend's relationship.
Well, I do. I think it's interesting.
Because she had a friend who was dating this guy, and they had been together for like 6 months, but they weren't like a thing, but they were a thing, you know?
Uh-huh.
And out of respect for her, she was like, well, I want them to be boyfriend and girlfriend first, then we can do it.
Okay. I didn't know
Which is
that.
dumb to me.
I didn't know
right?
that. I'm out. I'm all sharks. I'm out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
I didn't know that part. Nobody has told me that part of the story. This is the first time I'm hearing it live on the radio.
Mouth the words "I love you" to your significant other at Oyster Bake, and you're not dating them officially.
Oh, bro!
Eyebrows. My eyebrows are raised.
The only people who mouth "I love you" at Oyster Bake are 40-year-olds who have been overserved. That is it. That's crazy. So. Well, congratulations to him.
Making out on a Via bus after.
Were they really?
Dude, did you see that while you were eating your burger? I'm surprised you were able to finish that while they were going to town.
No, I was talking to your girlfriend about conservative politics.
I don't have a girlfriend. Everybody. I'm like Chowder from the animated TV series. She's not my girlfriend.
Yes, Chowder. Oh, hi, Panini. There's something I've been trying to tell you. Take it away, boys.
I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your boyfriend.
I was talking to her about conservative politics. She was like, we need to send them all back. I was like, whoa. This is kind of crazy. I understand why Jacob likes you, but damn. Like, let's pump the brakes.
Maybe that's what we should have called our adoring fans instead of the Quattro Corners Cartel. Our girlfriends in the comments. If you're our girlfriend, comment down below.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, right?
Pretty good.
Because I went on a tangent a couple weeks ago about that guy's not your friend. He's just some guy on the internet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if you want to be my girlfriend, you can comment on this video.
Thanks for scoring, everybody.
We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.